light of the world. I am so excited about this movie. So tell me what inspired you to create this film, which incredible animation, incredible everything. You got Shane and Shane. Tell me about it.
So how it really started was Matt McPherson, the founder of the Salvation Poem Project. He met with Brennan McPherson, the president of Salvation Poem Project, and talked with us. He really felt strongly back in the 90s that the Lord put on his heart that he was supposed to make a film about the life of Jesus. And because now I had become part of the ministry and my background was Superbook, he really felt like maybe this is that time. And so that's how it all started, the origin story of that. And from there, we really wanted to kind of find his mandate to us is, I want, if we are going to tell the story of Jesus, we got to find a unique way of sharing that story, but also a unique way of showing it. Because if we can't do something different, then why do what everyone else has done before? And that kind of put us on the journey of trying to find that story, and also on the journey of why we wanted to go with 2D animation. If we're going to do a retelling of the story of the life of Jesus, tell it in a way that no one has seen it before like this. And so that's how the journey started. And from there, 400 some people later, all the people who around the world who worked on this film, here we are, Light of the World, getting ready to premiere it. It's getting ready to release in theaters on September 5th, which we're all excited for people to go see, of all the hard work that we've all done. But to go back to the vision that God put on someone's heart back in the 90s and now see it come to fruition.
Talk about how this movie can be a discipleship tool for parents and for churches. Obviously, it's for all ages, but really what we put in front of our kids matters.
We made a decision very early on that this was going to be from the point of view of young John, the apostle. And a lot of the Bible historians are saying, yes, they were much younger than we have, an impression in our head that you see the Renaissance paintings and it looks like they're in their 40s. They weren't. They were in their 20s. And so John, being the youngest, being about 13 in our film, now we get to tell this powerful biblical story, the greatest story ever told, and we get to do it in a way that we do it from the point of view of John looking for a savior to help save his people and his family, but also looking for a friend, and finds a friend that then he discovers is actually the Messiah, and what that actually means and why he actually came. And being able to tell that story, it really hasn't been told the way we're telling it, as John was saying. And so it's a powerful thing that we're hopefully being able to share with the whole world. And so, yeah, we're so excited about how people are going to hopefully use this as a tool, parents especially, to teach their kids, but also enjoy it with them.
Yeah.
And I also think that it's not just kind of the after effect type of tool. I think it's one of those ones like for churches right now. What a great outreach in your community to get children in your community to go see this film and bring them to the theaters, and also after they see it in the theater, to talk about it with the children. So I think it's a powerful outreach. I think it's a powerful outreach just for regular families. If you want to bring a family member or someone that you work with, or a friend that you might be uncomfortable to share the gospel with, but you can take them into a movie that, if Disney was to make a movie about the life of Jesus in the 90s, this is that movie. It's that fun type movie, and you could take them there. And let this movie speak to the gospel to their hearts. And so I think there's just a lot of ways to do outreach right now, just so when it comes out September 5th and you can take people there. I just think it's the most non-threatening form of way of sharing the gospel.
There's really nothing else like it out there, but we're seeing such an interest in things like this, like The Chosen, like House of David. Talk about why the time is right now for this movie.
When Matt brought this up to us 4 years ago of what he wanted to do, we had no idea where the world would be today. And I think the world is looking for hope. They're looking for some type of direction. I think that's what we've seen with The Chosen. When you look at the global phenomenon of The Chosen, most of it's from non-believers. And you're seeing in 2025, we saw The Chosen season 5 come out through the Fathom events. We've seen with the Last Supper. We've seen the King of Kings, and people are going to see these things because they're looking for something, they're seeking. And I think for Light of the World, we didn't plan it that way. All these movies that are coming out, TV series like House of David, I think God has been orchestrating and moving and maneuvering things. And for us, it's just cool to be in that lineup of all these other films out there. And also, it's kind of cool that right now, faith is cool.
Yeah.
And that's very cool.
Yeah. Talk about working with Shane and Shane, because what I love about those guys is they help churches disciple the next generation, and they work a lot with worship artists and help build spiritual formation. Talk about getting them involved with this project.
Man, that one when I first heard that they were going to be involved, I kind of geeked out there thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to do it, and we didn't know what they were going to do. So I actually thought maybe they're just going to kind of re-envision the song, the Salvation Poem song, and that's what the Salvation Poem Project, how it started. It started with a simple 6-line song, which is a simple gospel presentation, and has been used by Superbook and other ministries around the world, and that's been the entry point of sharing the gospel to children in a simple way. So I thought Shane and Shane was going to do a rendition of Salvation Poem, and but when I heard it and it had the melody of Light of the World and all that stuff, it was a geek out moment, because one, you have a gospel presentation of the song, and then you have the song that represents our movie. And now here it is going to, being released on K-Love and all these other platforms. It's just exciting. And the fact that they wanted to do it, they wanted to be a part of it. They feel like this is going to be a movement, and they wanted to be with us on that. And that's just so humbling for us.
Yeah. So what did you guys learn about the person of Jesus while making this movie? The Bible tells us to have eyes like a child and faith like a child. What did you guys learn?
I often say that, when I first saw like The Passion of the Christ, Mel Gibson's movie way back when, it brought the Bible to life in a way that even as a believer already, I had never seen it. When characters from the Bible are saying these lines and I read it, it's very bland. And even, most pastors are just reading it. They're not putting the emotion behind it. And when you hear any of those lines now with actors and performers that are now screaming the lines or crying as they're saying it or something like that, honestly, that's when the Bible comes to life. And so we finally get that chance to do the animated, more kid-friendly version of the Passion of the Christ, get all that power of actors saying these lines and the performance and the faces and expressions of those characters, so that now it's going to come to life for people all around the world, especially those that have never heard this story before. And I'm affected by it. I go to church on Sunday and I'm hearing the Bible being read, and I'm like, that's Peter's words, but that's the Peter that I know and love. And I'm picturing our Peter in the film. And that's what's exciting to me, is that we get to kind of have, it's affected me. I can't read the Bible the same way anymore, all just because of this movie.
Wow.
And I think for me, how we portray Jesus, you see the vulnerable side of him, you see more of the human side of him, you see him laughing, the compassion, the love he has for his mother. And I think what that really resonated is that's how he has that vulnerability, because he understands what I'm going through. So if I'm going through a difficult time, or if I'm going through losing a loved one, like my father passing away, he understands that pain. And I think how we performed these characters and the way we wrote the story, I never thought, oh, that is really how he is. He truly understands me. He understands. He's gone through a lot. And so I think that's made my relationship closer, because seeing the Jesus that we portrayed in the film is now realizing, oh, that is how he really is.
How do you guys balance biblical fidelity with making a children's movie? Some of the Bible, there's some parts that are a little scary. Talk about kind of finding that balance.
I'll start just to say it's a huge challenge, and one that honestly kept me up at times. I would literally pray in the middle of the night, because it would hit me how important and how we can't mess this one up, and being true to the Bible. And a lot of it has to do with, we had a lot of biblical scholars that were involved in this film. And we would be meeting with them constantly. Even our screenwriters had theology backgrounds. And so what was great is then we could go, all right, we want to do this. Does that fit? Like we would analyze every single sequence and go, is this going to be entertaining? Yes, but also are we getting the most important part of why that happened in the Bible? What was said? Who said it? And are we staying true to that? And so staying true to the biblical truths that we were trying to communicate was job number one. Can we do it in an entertaining way? Can we condense certain situations and adapt that story to make it flow throughout only 88 minutes during this biblical epic? That was the other challenge, of course. And doing both at the same time, wow, it was hard. It was a challenge. And I honestly, it was God the whole way through. We could not have done that as well as it's come out. I still look at it and go, John, can you believe that it all came together and all those biblical truths are speaking to people,
Yeah.
and people are crying when they see this movie? I, I'm just so thrilled.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing but God that was involved in this.
And I think one of the hardest things too is there's a crucifixion. There's a betrayal of Judas, and we who know the Bible knows what happens with Judas. And so how do we handle all those things? And so we went through a lot of staging and trying to figure out. So we definitely wanted to show the nail go right up to the wrist because we needed the audience to know that. But then when the hammer's about to come down, John's head turns into view, and when you see John's expression, because now you don't see what happened to Jesus, you hear it, but you see it, and that's going through John. This is his journey, and I think that resonates. So we did a lot of proper staging, and with Judas, now that these guys are in their upper teenagers, it makes sense. Like if when Judas kisses Jesus, and he says, "You betray a friend with a kiss." Judas is startled, like he's thinking, hold on, you've considered me a friend all along? And that's why he runs and flees. And so we were just trying to figure out how to handle all of that stuff in a way that is presentable to children, to a family. And to be honest, we had to maintain that this is a PG film and not a PG-13 or higher. And so
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more Christ-centered journalism.